Okay. I feel like just, unloading some random witchy thoughts I've had today. Yeah. So, let's get started. All right, so first, let's start with what are wards? Wards are basically protection magic. They protect you, they keep things from getting in. So, the way I like to see it, okay, because you need to layer your wards, all right? Your first layer, if you have, a yard and shit, it's going to be done outdoors, okay, at your property line. That's going to be, the 10-foot tall prison fence that can't be jumped. And if somehow shit manages to get through that, then you gotta have the crazy dog in the yard. And if somehow they manage to get past the crazy dog, then you have to have the flesh eating plants. And if somehow they survive the flesh eating plants, you have to have some metaphorical fucking sword play. And then, and only then, do they get to your suit of armor, which is all the personal protections you have on your actual person. Layer your protection magic and use wards. Ward your walls, ward your windows, ward your yard, ward your property line. Just protect it all. It's yours. Nobody else's. Protect your shit. Now, because, it's the holiday season and shit. And what do we do during the holiday season? Even if we live in Florida where it's 70 freaking degrees and I'm wearing a short sleeve shirt outside, we decorate everything with evergreens. The pretty tree with all the little baubles and shit. And then you hang the evergreens over the door and you put the boughs of holly and all of that. Yeah, okay. So, the fir, 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 like a Douglas fir, okay, which is the most commonly used tree for a Christmas tree. I will never be able to have a Christmas tree because I am allergic to evergreens. Yeah. Anyways, the fir trees, not only does the greenery of them remind us of the spring when we are in the darkest part of the year where the nights are long and the days are short and sometimes the days don't even have daylight depending on where you are. Um, but they're protection magic. Yeah, they're protection magic. The pine, they still put off their fruit during the winter so that the animals don't starve. It's protecting the animals from, a terrible death of starvation, quite frankly. But also, what is one of the main things found in the oil of their leaves and their sap? Citronella. And what do we use citronella for in modern times? Well, we put that shit in a candle and light it and sit it on our porch to keep bugs away from us while we're sitting outside. And what are bugs? Bugs are pests. Bugs are a nuisance. Ergo, the trees that produce citronella in their foliage is protection from nuisance pests. Oh, and don't let me forget about holly. The thing with the little red, yeah, the little red berries. Have you ever actually looked at the leaves of holly? Have you ever touched holly leaves? That's just kind of pointy and spiny, like it could cut you, it will poke you, it will stab you, and it does not feel good. No, I'm not saying it's like super painful, but it don't feel good. So, yeah, that's a protective charm that bites back, guys. Um, I don't know about you guys, but the way I see things, if you don't want a working to be tied to you and your entire bloodline that comes after you, don't use blood in your workings because that is basically a permanent fucking tag. Like a permanent tether. So whatever that working does is tethered to you and your bloodline. So if there are bad results to that, your bloodline has to deal with it if you're gone. If it backfires, it's going to backfire directly on you. If you did not perform it correctly, it is going to F you up. With that being said, though, I am a firm advocate of the fuck around and find out method. Because the only way stubborn, hard headed ass people like me, because I'm a fucking Aries, learn is the hard way. So we have to fuck around and find out. There is order within the chaos, guys. All you have to do is look for it. Also, shadow work, that is, the shadow work that is, what's the word? Pushed by this ye old clock app, is psychology and is looking at your trauma and breaking it down and figuring out why it affects you the way it does. If you have the big sad or something similar, let's do that in therapy, not through a journal you buy on Amazon. And to the love and light people out there, the world is not love and light. There is darkness in the world. And just because you like to stay in the light does not mean everybody else does. And you could still make someone angry that does not adhere to the light. So you, to be responsible and to protect yourself, need to be familiar with the darker side of things. If you do not practice the darker side of thing, that's great. That's good for you. That's your thing. You don't have to throw hexes if you don't want to. You don't have to be a dick if you don't want to, but beware that other people out there will throw hexes and other people out there are dickheads. So you must be aware of the shit that dickheads do. So research the shit that hex throwers and dickheads do. Not to say that hex throwers are dickheads, because I am a hex thrower. But then again, I'm kind of a dickhead too, so that's besides the point. Just research it all. Even if you don't use it, even if you can't use it, still research it so that you know what it is. Because if you don't know what it is, how do you know if you can use it or not? Or if it's, you know, appropriate. Research everything. As a witch, that is kind of the shtick. We research everything. You read the articles from Google or DuckDuckGo or Bing or whatever the hell your search engine is. You read the books. You watch the TikToks. Research the shit that you see on the TikToks. Research the shit that I'm spouting, because it might be my UPG. It might be the UPG of the person who taught it to me. I don't know. This my shit. My shit's my shit. Your shit's your shit. So if you like my shit, research my shit to see if it's your shit. That was like a highly inappropriate Dr. Seuss rhyme. What's wrong with me? And before I carry on for too much longer, because it's already been 7.5 minutes, and I'm sure you're bored of me because I am like not wearing makeup and my hair looks like shit, and we know that the algorithm prefers pretty people, and I'm not looking pretty right now. So if you like what I had to say, I have a podcast on Spotify, Fang's Fancies. You can find me on the Book of Faces, The Lady Fang. I do card readings, dream interpretation. Shoot me an email, theladyfang@mail.com. Have a good evening. Happy witching and safe witching. Also, last thing, interact with this, because I'm really, really close to being able to go live on this. The old clock app. So interact, follow. Get me in the algorithm, guys. For real. I don't think I need any more caffeine today. I've had 4 shots of espresso, half a pot of coffee, and I'm on my 2nd Mountain Dew. Nah, fuck it. Let's eat more caffeine. Where's the espresso beans?